The year is 2027, and the state of the world is such that Earth is on the brink of destruction. Even more astonishingly, no children have been born for the past 18 years. But one day, unexpectedly, a young girl becomes pregnant. To obtain this child, certain people begin to take extreme measures, forcing the pregnant girl to flee through jungles and waters, desperately trying to catch a ship on a large river. Even the soldiers halt their battles to see the child. This is the beginning of a top-notch sci-fi thriller, as seen in Children of Men. It shows that for some reason, almost all countries have been destroyed, and only Britain has somehow survived. As a result, people are starting to flood into Britain from the rest of the world, where devastation reigns, seeking refuge. This news is being shown in a coffee shop in London, where a man orders coffee. His name is Theo. Another news report is also being heard simultaneously about baby Diego, the youngest person in the world, who has just died at the age of 18. Yes, there are no young people left on Earth. Those who remain are mostly middle-aged or elderly. It has been years since anyone has been able to have children, leading the world toward a horrifying future where humanity may soon cease to exist. Theo hears this news and rushes out of the coffee shop. Just then, there is a loud explosion in the building ahead, and everyone starts screaming. All around, there is nothing but destruction and suffering. The people here have become exhausted from witnessing the pain and destruction that happens daily. With people from all over the world crowding into one place, fights, robberies, murders, and injuries have become commonplace. To find food and shelter, Theo sets off toward home with an elderly friend, Jasper. On their way, they notice many imprisoned refugees who have fled their countries to escape to England. However, the British government has declared these people criminals for entering the country illegally and has imprisoned them in a place called Bexhill, where they are kept under harsh control, separated from society, and treated very badly. Women are raped, and people are treated like animals. Jasper reaches his home, which is in a secluded area within the jungle, where outsiders would hardly suspect anyone lives. Jasper takes care of his sick wife. From their conversation, it becomes clear that there is some secret research going on in England related to a human project. What was this project? It was a secret group of scientists and researchers trying to save humanity from extinction. They were searching for ways to enable humans to give birth again. When Theo leaves for work, he has no idea that this day will change his life forever. Some kidnappers grab Theo and take him to a small room. There, he is shocked to see his ex-wife, Julian. She and her team are protesting against the government's abuse of refugees. Their organization is called Fishes, and their mission is to advocate for equal rights, as all humans are equal and no one should be imprisoned. As the world's other countries are gradually falling apart, Julian's group, Fishes, is fighting against the British government. The government has instructed that any member of Fishes should be arrested on sight. For this reason, Julian cannot directly converse with Theo, so she arranges for him to be kidnapped instead. Julian tells Theo, "I will pay you some money, in exchange for which you must get me a transit paper." What is a transit paper? At that time in England, as people were illegally entering from various places, the government had closed off free movement for the general public. Only those with a transit paper could travel through the restricted areas of England. If someone lacked a transit paper, they would be arrested as illegal immigrants. Julian needs this transit paper to save a refugee girl, allowing her to pass through a security checkpoint to a safer location. Now the question arises, why does Julian want to save an unknown refugee girl? After some thought, Theo decides to help Julian. He meets a familiar contact and manages to obtain a transit paper in exchange for some money. Theo contacts Julian and hands over the transit paper. Shortly after, they reach their stop. Theo meets Julian's remaining companions, including a man named Luke, who is one of Julian's team members. He is driving, and with him are a girl named Key and her mother. Key is the refugee girl for whom Theo obtained the transit paper. Julian and Theo set off with the rest of the team toward a safe location for the fishes. Will they be able to hide there safely? They pass by a forest. Although the place is secluded, Theo senses an impending danger. Suddenly, a burning car stops right in the middle of the road. Luke desperately tries to slam the brakes to escape, but many people rush in from the surroundings, armed with whatever they can find, intent on attacking them. But why? The answer will come later. They desperately try to escape, but the crowd encircles their car. Luke accelerates in an attempt to escape the area, but a motorcycle pulls up behind them, and just then, the rider pulls out a gun and shoots Julian in the neck. Blood spills everywhere. Theo tries hard to save Julian, but unfortunately, Julian dies. Somehow, they escape the area and burn Julian's body in a forest. He is profoundly shaken, as he had finally gotten to spend some time with his ex-wife after such a long time, only to lose her so soon. Then they reach a secret location of the fishes in a village. Although Theo wants to return to London, the people of the fishes tell him, "It's not safe for you to go to London now," so he must spend the night here. The members of the fishes keep an eye on Theo, as he has not yet proven trustworthy. After a while, Key calls Theo into a barn, wanting to share some important secret. Key reveals that Julian had said before dying, "If you ever find yourself in trouble, only trust Theo. Don't trust anyone else in my group." For this reason, Key seeks Theo's help and tells him to assist her in crossing the security point and catching a boat. The boat will take Key to a safe location. Theo is confused. Why does this girl need help? From whom is she trying to escape? And why does she want to reach a safe place? And who is she, that Julian went to such lengths to obtain a transit paper for her? At this point, Key begins to remove her clothing and reveals a secret that Theo can hardly believe. Even though no woman has been able to become pregnant in 18 years, Key is pregnant and wants to reach the human project, which will help her and her baby stay safe. For Theo, seeing a woman pregnant after 18 years is unbelievable. He realizes why she wants to go by boat. She wants to safely reach the human project with her unborn child. Meanwhile, the fishes have turned predatory as they discuss that instead of sending the girl through the water to the human project, let's keep her ourselves. When the baby is born, we can use this child as a face for our movement. It will show that our movement and our group are on the right path, and more people will join us after seeing that one of us has a baby. Thus, they decide not to send the baby to the human project, but to keep the child for their own movement. However, the girl disregards everyone and wants to follow Julian's plan. One night, while everyone is asleep, Theo hears voices. He sneaks out of his room and overhears Luke and his companions discussing that Luke's true intention is to keep the baby for their group. Moreover, Theo discovers another shocking truth. The people who killed Julian that day were sent by Luke. Luke didn't want Julian to save the girl and send her to the human project. That's why he had arranged for a crowd to ambush Julian's car when it arrived. Upon closer inspection, it becomes clear that those who attacked Julian did not harm anyone else. This indicates that the plan was Luke's. Terrified, Theo quickly informs Key and her mother of everything. The three of them prepare to escape, but it won't be that easy, as the English army and police are searching for the refugees. If they find the girl in her pregnant state, they will immediately arrest her. On the other hand, they also have to worry about Luke and his companions. They must escape very carefully. Early in the morning, Theo sneaks away with the girl and her mother in a car. They need a safe place where no one can find them. They go to Jasper, the only person Theo trusts. Jasper is shocked to see Key pregnant and immediately takes responsibility for her care. But here a big question remains. Key is pregnant, but who is the father of that baby? The answer is horrifying and will be revealed later. After some time, Jasper excitedly announces, "I've found a boat!" A security guard from the refugee camp, named Saeed, will take them to Bexhill. After entering Bexhill, a boat will be arranged for them, which will take them via water to the human project. The next morning, Theo suddenly wakes up to an alarm blaring throughout the house. They realize from the CCTV that the fishes have discovered their hiding place and that they must escape quickly, or they will be caught. In a hurry, Theo and Key get into the car to escape. Jasper gives them a map and advises, "You need to meet Saeed with this map." As Theo looks back from a distance after leaving Jasper's house, he sees Jasper confronted by fishes. They are questioning him about Theo and the girl. Jasper knows very well that he won't survive, and he realizes that not only he, but also his sick wife will be mercilessly tortured and killed by the fishes. To protect them from the fishes' cruelty, he kills his sick wife and their pet dog. After a series of questions from the fishes about Theo and the girl, when Jasper remains silent, they ultimately shoot and kill him. Theo watches helplessly, mentally shattered. Jasper was the only person in his life whom he considered a friend and loved. Jasper's death pains him deeply, but this is not the time for sorrow. So he quickly remembers Jasper's advice and sets off with the girl and her mother to safely reach the human project. They then find refuge in an old school. Shortly after, they meet Saeed. Initially, Saeed is suspicious of them as refugees, but when Theo mentions Jasper, Saeed realizes that he has to help them enter Bexhill. Saeed arranges for them to enter Bexhill and instructs, "Once inside, you must find a girl named Marichka under a statue. She will arrange a place for you to stay." He also explicitly advises them, "When you enter Bexhill, behave like other refugee detainees, so no one gets suspicious." Theo and Key are placed on a bus with other detainees. Midway, Key suddenly experiences severe pain in her abdomen. Her mother tries to calm her down, saying, "Just one more day, bear with it. Once we get on the boat, we will reach the human project." The bus finally arrives at the Bexhill refugee camp. Here they see many refugees being brutally tortured, crammed into cages. A police officer boards the bus and separates Key's mother from the group. But Theo and Key successfully enter the camp. Theo is unsure of what to do, but he knows he will do whatever it takes to protect this girl. As per Saeed's instructions, they manage to find Marichka. She arranges a shelter for them. The room is small and dark. They have to spend the night there. However, Key's physical condition deteriorates rapidly, and eventually, labor pains begin, meaning it's time for Key to give birth. Theo locks the door and begins to assist Key. Theo has some knowledge of childbirth, having had a child once. Thus, he delivers Key's baby. Key gives birth to a beautiful little girl. Hearing the baby's first cries brings them an extraordinary sense of peace. After 18 years, the sound of a newborn has returned to this dead world. The next morning, there is a loud knock on the door. Key quickly covers her child with a blanket. Marichka and another man come in and tell them to leave quickly because an attack has begun outside. Who is attacking? The fishes. They need to escape quickly. The fishes could break in at any moment. In the midst of their conversation, the man notices something beneath the blanket. When he uncovers the blanket and sees the child, he is utterly shocked. After seeing the baby, his demeanor suggests he is about to do something terrible. Therefore, Marichka and Theo quickly kill the man and escape. Marichka finds a safe place for Key and her child to stay hidden. Key decides to name her child Bazooka, which makes Theo very happy. An hour after this incident, Theo learns that a boat has been located, so they set out. Gunfire surrounds them as they attempt to escape, but suddenly, the fishes arrive and capture them. Luke is overjoyed to find Key and her child, forcibly removing Theo from the scene to take them elsewhere. Theo sits helplessly, but then the English army attacks the fishes. Seizing this opportunity, Theo and Marichka hide behind a wall to escape the gunfire. Despite the chaos, Theo continues to search for Key and her child. Suddenly, there is a large explosion in the building ahead. Theo rushes into the building to find Key. Inside, he is horrified by what he sees. Many people lie injured, some with limbs severed, others dead. The sight terrifies Theo, especially when he thinks of Key and her child. Following the sound of a baby crying, he discovers Key and her child nearby. But Luke is there. As Luke prepares to attack, another explosion occurs, narrowly saving Key and her child from the blast. As they exit the building, everyone is amazed to see the baby, and they rejoice at the sight of a newborn after 18 years. Even the soldiers who had been shooting pause to catch a glimpse of the child. Though the situation is dire, the feeling of humanity is still alive. For a moment, everyone sees a glimmer of hope in the child, but suddenly, the attack resumes. Theo manages to get Key and her child out, and they meet Marichka again. Ultimately, Marichka guides them through a path to a boat, which will take them across the river to the human project. They wait in the middle of the river for the ship. Suddenly, Key notices a lot of blood on the boat. She realizes Theo has been shot and is severely injured. Although she cannot help him, Theo gradually loses consciousness amid the serene environment. Key sits alone in the boat with her child. After some time, the ship from the human project arrives. Key joyfully calls out to Theo, but he no longer responds. Perhaps Theo has died, but the future of the world lives on, the only surviving child on Earth. And this is where the movie ends. Now the question arises, who is the father of this child? Although this question is not directly answered in the movie, it can be inferred that since Key was in the refugee camp, where severe abuse and rape occurred, it is possible that one of the men who assaulted Key in the refugee camp is the father of her child. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into your favorite movies. See you in the next one. Bye.